The other day, I taught the munay key rites. Years ago, I got the munay key rites, and then afterwards, because of the rites to come, I had received the soul star rite from my mentor, and then later on, I received a rite from spirit, just like she had. Because when you go through the munay key rites, you become a creator. You open up to become someone who can receive the rites to come. So I had originally got the Kotakuna Carpe Rite and the Lyran Triple Infinity Abundance Rite. Okay, the Lyran one was in 2015, the first time that I ever transmitted that, and then the Kotakuna Carpe one was a little later. And at first, with both of them, I wasn't even aware that they were actual rites. I just thought I was going to be doing a meditation. But with the Lyran Triple Infinity one, I installed these golden infinity symbols onto the chakras. Last night, as I'm going through the nusta rites, she's putting those onto all of our chakras as we're connecting with the 7 stars of the Pleiades, which is literally what I do with the Kotakuna Carpe rite, is I connect us to the 7 sisters and the 7 chakras. And I knew that one was a rite way back a few years ago, because in the shower getting ready for that event, they were like, it's a rite, it's a rite. And I was like, okay. So anyways, all of that's said and done back in the past. A few years ago, I purchased the nusta rites on Udemy, and then I never actually finished them. I never went through the whole process. I was overwhelmed by them because there's like 70 videos in it, and it's like broken down, and there's just so much information. So I kept getting overwhelmed by the fact that, like, you're going to need this, you're going to need that, you're going to need this, you're going to need that. And I didn't know if I had all of those things. Also, you come to it with 7 stones, and I didn't know what 7 stones I wanted to use. She's like, you could use this or that. And it was just too many options for my little ADHD brain to, like, choose, okay? So anyways, the other day I was teaching the munay key, and the girls were really happy, and they're like, we want to do more things. And I was like, well, I could do the nusta rites. I could finish those and give those to you. And, you know, I told them the whole experience and all of that. And then afterwards, I ended up coming up here and setting up my mesa. And I just like opened it up and I made circles and I put it all together. And I ended up realizing, like, throughout this last couple of days, that even that was divinely guided. So I opened it up, I did the circles, I put a bunch of stuff in there, and then later in the afternoon, after, you know, everything's said and done, I'm not even thinking about this, I get an email through my drop down, because I never even look at my emails. It's so random that I would have even seen this email. I have not seen an email from this person probably since the time that I bought the course. But it was the person that I bought the course from, and was like, hey, just for a couple of more days, there's this option to get this great discount on these things. So I clicked on it, and I went into the Udemy, into my courses that I have purchased in there, which there's many of. And I was like, you know what? Let me open this up. And I installed the Udemy app, and it started playing where I had left off, which was actually at the very first rite. I had done like the prep work ones, like learning about the thing and the concepts, and the first meditation to like get you into the right energy. But I had left off without actually doing the rite itself. So it started, and my mesa was open, and everything was ready, and I was like, I'll just go with it, and I started doing it, and my body started rocking, and she's like, now you might feel the energy, like, you may feel guided to do movement, and I started thinking, like, wow, I'm doing, like, these figure 8s, and then it wasn't even until, like, the second or third rite in, because I kept going with them, I realized that she's doing that abundance thing, that infinity, the golden infinity. And I was like, oh my God. And it was just so synchronistic and so crazy, and just so much like, just go with it, just do it. But then I started seeing in my memories that 7, 8, 9 years ago, because, you know, the memories go all the way back, I was literally doing these things on those days. So I gave the rites on Saturday, on the 25th, and then on the 26th, I see the memory pop up from, like, oh yeah, I was doing the rites back then too. And that was like 8 years ago or 9 years ago. And then today the memories pop up, and yesterday the memories were popping up too, because I was going to be doing the Kotakuna copyright the following day, which is 7 years ago, which is, again, the Kotakuna copyright connects with the 7 sisters, the 7 stars, the 7 Pleiadian energy, which is just what the nusta rites is. But with the nusta rites, it expands upon it. It's not just getting the 7 sisters to your 7 chakras. There's also goddesses that we connect within it, and sacred temples that we connect within it, and then there's 7 different like rituals that we do within it, and it's just like the feminine aspect. Okay, so there's the masculine with the munay key, and then there's the feminine with the nusta rites. And it was just like, oh my god, it was just so mind-blowing and so synchronistic. I tried to like capture it throughout because I didn't want to forget any of the synchronicity. So in this video you will see what I mean as I'm going through it, and as I'm like having all these realizations. I finished them at 5 a.m. this morning. Everything that I said to the girls the other day during the class, it all came full circle. And even at the end of it, it all came full circle, because she's talking about building your mesa, which my mesa built itself. And I was telling the girls that the other day, I was like, you don't need to have someone else tell you how to do these things, because they just happen if you listen to spirit. My mesa cloth was gifted to me, and all the items that are in it were gifted to me from other people. And then everything that I put into it, like rock-wise and all of that, was gifted to me and guided to do from spirit. And then this morning, she's like, yeah, so don't make a big deal about it, bop-a-da-boop, because I kept like holding back and feeling weird about the fact that like I didn't go through like traditional like classes with people. Like I went to the first direction class the day after my mother died, back, 2018, I think. And I never went back to it, partly because of what happened within the community, and I've started feeling really uncomfortable being around other people, and I didn't trust anybody. Also because it was expensive, and because I just wasn't feeling like I was ready to go do that more. But I also already had the things inside of my mesa that like we were initiating and doing that day. So it was like I was already doing it, and I just didn't go back. And then I got the nusta rites, and I knew we were going to be building a nusta mesa. But at the end of this, I feel like I'm not actually making a whole separate mesa. I'm just including this into this mesa, because this mesa is my mesa. Originally, when I went to do that other class, it was going to be like a 13 stone bop-a-da-boop, certain type of one. But mine is my own. I'm meant to teach it the way that I've been given it. I'm doing the work the way that spirit intends for me to do the work. It's okay for other people to go to a class and get their 13 stone mesa built and guided by a particular shaman or whatever. That's their teacher, that's their mentor. My mentor is the Pleiadians. My mentor is the Great Spirit. My mentor is the archetypes. My mentor is my I am presence. My mentor is just the universe guiding me. And I know they are pushing me to just do what I'm guided to do, and stop looking what other people think is the right way to do things, and do it in my own way, and teach other people the methods and the concepts, because there's just so much fucking confirmation and synchronicity and like, aha. I bought a book, right? And I never even read it. I still haven't read it, but like the couple of times that I would open up into the book, it would be like confirming things that I did from day one. Had my awakening. I started going outside at night and just staring at the stars, building my relationship with the stars, building my relationship with the Pleiadians. And then, like, throughout all of this, she's like, you're gonna build your relationship with the Pleiadians. You want to build your relationship? I've already done that. I'll continue to build upon it, but I already did. And that's why I already have a mesa built. And that's why I already gave these rites. That's why I was already installing these things onto people 10 years ago. But I allowed other people's, evil eyes and other people's beliefs and other people's teachings to make me question my own. And I'm supposed to teach other people. I'm supposed to guide other people. And I'm supposed to receive what I'm receiving to do that, so that other people don't get caught up in all of that shit. And other people learn how to actually connect to spirit and trust their guidance and do this sacred work without feeling like they're doing something wrong or they don't know what they're doing. I guarantee you, if you just trust your intuition and you do what you're guided to do, and you don't let like all of the distractions of the world and all the teachers of the world and all the bullshit in the world hold you back, you will get the most confirmation and the most beautiful work that you could have done just on your own. You know, obviously some people are going to need a mentor. We're going to need to learn things. We want to be teachable, but we don't need to do it in a way that makes us feel limited or question the way that we're doing things just because somebody else did it differently or somebody else is perceived in a certain way. You know, I allowed myself to feel inadequate or like I wasn't good enough because I wasn't doing what other people were doing. I wasn't, and again, I've been to places, I've gone to classes where the teacher is just reading out of a book. They're not doing anything that's from spirit directly. They're teaching what someone else has taught them. What I'm doing is not in a book. There is no book. There is no directions. It's guided by spirit. And I really think that's more powerful. And that's why I have all these crazy things. And also because I do see it and I get so excited about it, they continue to give it to me. I'm not like, oh, you know, and I don't dismiss it. And I don't get to that like cocky place of thinking like, oh, I'm just so best and I don't need anybody. I learn from everybody. I learn from my students. I learn from my teachers. I learn from my people in my community. I learn online. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly absorbing. I'm constantly expanding. But I also need to remind myself that I've already done a lot of the work and I've already been connected to these things and I'm just remembering them and I'm guided in a certain way, and that doesn't mean it's the wrong way. 11:11 on the clock. So yeah, enjoy. And if you want to get these rites, I'm going to be offering them. I think I might do them like I did with the munay key online for the people who can't come here, but then I will be doing them in person very, very soon because I'm so fucking excited. Just the whole way this unfolded, it's so hard to even explain into words. But yeah, I set the mesa up, I start doing it, I start realizing I've already done this, but this is expanding upon it. And then at the end of it, she's like, yeah, you might make circles, you know, and stones that I put into my circle I needed specifically for this. And then all the tools that were needed along the way, I had, even though prior to, I was overwhelmed by like, am I going to have that? I don't know if I have those. And because of ADHD, it's like you get stuck. You don't go look for the things. But when I started doing it after the munay key, I just went with it one at a time. So I was like, all right, I just need to do this for this rite. And then I did it. And then I needed the next rite and the next rite. And I got all the way to the 7th rite. And even at the 7th motherfucking rite, they're like, you need a red candle, a yellow candle, and a white candle. Would I not have exactly that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Which is like, you need feathers to make a feather fan. And if you don't have feathers, you can make like a paper fan. I just pulled the feathers out the other day during the munay key class because it's part of my bag of, you know, supplies for the dream catchers. I have spools of leather in there that I give to people to use for their necklace or for their pie stones. So I was like, literally had the bag of feathers out right there. For the heart despacho, all the flowers are blooming out there, so I had those. And again, for it to come full circle from the 27th, 7 years ago, 9 years ago, and 10 years ago to today, you can't make it up. It's just so freaking divinely guided and perfect. But yeah, this is very, very powerful, very amazing. I wrote down notes along the way. I know exactly what I need to do, how to do it, what to say, when to say it. And a lot of it is stuff that I've already said and done and do. You know, the only thing that was like kind of new about this was the fact that like we're connecting goddesses and sacred sites to these rites. But yeah, just incredible, and I can't wait to share it with others. Let me know if you want me to share it with you online, and I'm definitely gonna be doing some here. Even if nobody else comes to it, I'll do them again, because I really believe that when you get these rites, gifting the rites to others is what actually enhances it. Same for the munay key. When I got those rites, I started giving them to others. That's when I started seeing the signs of the synchronicity and everything coming full circle. And that story was crazy in itself. And now this story is even crazier. And I always knew it too. I knew that these rites were going to be powerful. And obviously I needed to wait for the perfect time. And how perfect is it that it's the fucking 27th? 27, 27, 27. 27 haunts me. And I think I know why, because it's my Pleiadian guides. I'm partnered with the Pleiadians. 2 is all about partnership. 7 is the Pleiadians. 7 is a spiritual number. 7 is them applauding you. 2 is you're in union with what you're meant to be doing, you know, whether it's a partner in love or a partner in somewhere else. And on the 27th of my calendar here from Audrey Hepburn, which my mother used to tell me, I remind her of, I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. Over the last 2 days, I did the 7 sacred nusta rites, and I wanted to share my experience. I wanted to document this while it's still fresh, because there's a lot of information, just like with the munay rites, the nusta rites are 7 rites, and there's a lot of stuff that is going into them. That is one of the reasons I think it took me so long to even like get to do them, because it looks overwhelming. You know, it looks overwhelming in the course, but holy motherfucking shit, there has been so much confirmations, like so many crazy things. Okay, so I did the first one last night, and before she even was saying, like I was standing just kind of like, and it just happened. Like I just got there and I was doing it, and I was like moving back and forth, and she's like, you may find your body starts to like circle around and the energy moves you. Allow it. And I was like, okay, right? But last night I was thinking how I felt like I was moving in an infinity symbol. And like, again, sometimes when you're doing this stuff, like you're not really paying attention, and you are paying attention, but like it doesn't trigger things right away. So like last night did that stuff, had that crazy like, oh wow, this is really definitely coming in. Then today did the rite 2 with Taigeta, the star of the Pleiades, and Donna Muja, who's the mermaid energy, to connect with the water. And I got like a thing of water, I got some flowers, and did the little ceremony. It was to release. So you write down intentions, like what do you want to release? And I was like, I want to get rid of addictions, I want to get rid of anxiety, a closed heart, insecurities, ADHD, distraction, and procrastination. Boppity boop. Okay, so then we do in it, and even like throughout it, I was like, oh my god. So I pulled out my journal, and it was like, there's so much confirmation down to the writing of this. Okay, prior to reading the part in the homework of saying right, I was writing. I was getting this out to write things down. I had already planned to journal about the experience, and then I saw it was recommended to do so. The intention that I set were confirmed as well. I said I would like to release addictions and open my heart, and both were mentioned in the homework as well as in the rite itself. When I was holding the flowers in the chumpy stone, they were already in the correct hands, 222, before I said anything, and my body movements, again, were prior to her directing me to move. And then I realized she's having us put infinity symbols, like I had the infinity symbol in my mind's eye as well in my movements, and then I realized it directly connected to the rites. Okay, but then beyond that, I realized that like when I got the Kotukuna Carpe right, this is like so much of that. When I got the Lyran Triple Infinity Abundance Rite, this is so much of that. Literally in the Lyran Triple Infinity Abundance Rite, that's what I called it. I'm like, I'm installing the fucking infinity symbol over all of the chakras. That's what she's doing here. Like we did it with the root, we did it with the sacral, we've done it with the solar plexus. The next one's the heart. But I was like, again, I just want to like, I want to, while it's fresh, be like, holy shit. Holy shit, I was already doing it, because I never got that confirmation outside of myself about like the Lyran Triple Infinity Abundance thing. Like I was just guided to do that, and they told me it was a right, so I did it. But the Kotukuna Karpi right, I thought that, like in my head, when I first came up with the energy of it, because like I was like, I'm gonna do 7 sister 7 chakra meditation and just like connect each of the stars to each of the chakras. And when I was getting ready that night, I heard in my head, it's a right, and I was like, so I went to Google and was like, Pleiadian 7 sister 7 chakra meditation, right? And they came up with Kotukuna Karpe, and it's literally creating sakbes, lines or ley lines to your chakras from the 7 sisters or the 7 stars of the Pleiades. And the list that I had, because I knew I was going to be doing like a guided meditation. There's 7 stars, 7 chakras. I made myself a list so that I wouldn't forget halfway through the night and be like, did I already do Taygeta, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, Alcyon, Taygeta, Meropa, Solano, all of the different 7 sisters. And I gave them a certain chakra. I did Alcyon for the crown and so forth. And when I got, and I had already done that. And then when I Googled to see if this was an actual rite, they had it listed in the same exact way. Like, so many things have been coming up in this that it's like everything inside of this, because these are this is the, the nusta rites, but everything that she's doing is connecting to a Pleiadian star, and the infinity symbols. And then again with the chakras, it's like with the first one we do the red chi ball, with the second one we do the orange chi ball, with the third one we're doing all the chakra colors, and we're doing all the, so right now I gotta go get some stuff because I'm gonna be making a heart despacho, which is actually something I wrote down last night because we did the munay key yesterday. I was like, maybe I'll do a despacho ceremony so that, to give thanks and all of that and have people come, that because the girls that were here are like, when do we come back? We want to do something again. And I was thinking I could do a despacho ceremony with them to teach them about that and show them, and also to do it because it's a good thing to do. But now I'm doing one anyways on my own for my hat because it connects with this rite. And so this one is Maya to the heart, and it's the star. Oh no, that was Maya was the one to the yellow, to the solar plexus. That was the star of identity. And we're doing all of the like ram, like the bombs. I've already done this. It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. So the rite 4 is Donna Teresa with Solano, and we open our heart to all that it is and pure emotions, no judgments of our emotions. And the heart chakra despacho is honoring the 9 temples of emotions. So joy, happiness, sadness, so on and so forth. And it gives us the freedom to feel and to heal and to accept all, like pain and joy, and to honor all 4 chambers of our heart, and so on and so forth. So I used this earlier to hold my water, and I got the flowers to put into there. Something you could do outside or inside, but I knew I had all my stuff up here, so I was just going to do it up here, make it easy. This is now my new lineage stone. I've been using the chumpy stones because you got to have 7 stones for all of this. And that was another thing too. Like I was getting stuck on picking stones for it, and then I was like, why don't I just use the chumpy stones? And she just had us do like the clicky thing that I have people do. I always tell people to like click their energy from their pie stone into other pie stones, or to other stones they want to transfer that energy. So we were just doing that with these 2. This is the solar plexus chumpy, and then this is the new lineage stone for protection. She's like, yeah, this sometimes calls for a specific obsidian. Not everybody has it, so it's okay if you don't have that type of stone, just get one. And I was like, I have it. She didn't say specifically, but I feel like it's probably this kind or similar, but it's better than not having one at all. And then, yeah, just so many things. Like, I did the first one last night, but I didn't take notes. Today I started taking notes, and I'll go back and kind of take notes about that, because I am going to teach these 2 others homework with all of them. But it's really like, it was so overwhelming to me, and now I'm realizing it's like I've gotten like so many of them done, and I'm reading it. You know what it is? It's because it's like do. But then when you really break it down and look at it, it's like, this is a 3-minute long video, this is a 4-minute long video, and this is a PDF that's like this much of information. But my ADHD gets overwhelmed by that stuff. So that was one of the things I wrote down, was like, to release mentally is the distractions and the procrastinations and the overwhelm by like simple shit that never used to really be like that for me. I know a lot of it is a trauma response, but we're releasing that because I can get back to the place of, you know what? I'm taking back my mind. I'm taking back control of myself. I don't care what you other people do, like, fine with you. But it's just crazy. And then I was seeing that in my mind's eye. Oh, and then the all-seeing eye with the pyramid. And then when I opened my eyes and looked, because she was just had like a video without her on it. It was just like a background. I didn't see it prior to until I opened my eyes, but the background at that point had the pyramid with the eye in it. And I was like, oh, that must be why I'm seeing that. And when I was doing the sacral one, I was standing here and I had my eyes closed, and she's like, look at the orange chi ball that she has on the screen. I didn't need to because I could see it. in my mind's eye. It was right here. And then by the end of it, it was fading. And it's like, oh my God. And then there's an exercise or homework to do after the point of like absorbing an energy chi ball to help you to do stuff. And I was doing that, and I could see it again, and it was absorbing and dissipating. And then it turned into yellow. And that's when I knew it was time to go on to the next chakra or the next rite. It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. I know people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but this is just like so much confirmation. I knew the Kotakuna Carpe rite was like on point. I knew that in my soul, like that was a rite. But now to hear it and to see these connections with the infinity symbol and all of that, I was like, that is definitely, totally on point. Because we don't do that in the Munay Key. There was none of that in the Munay Key. The Munay Key was like, if anything, it would like just take energy from up in the stars to put it onto you, or take energy from your own heart to put onto someone else's heart. It wasn't like this big intense, circle and like your whole body moving and all these little exercises. There's a lot that goes into it. It's probably something I could even break up and have people do, like, I get why there's so much there now, but like in person with people, I could be like, okay, let's do like the first 3 today, and then come back and do like the next 3, or even just one at a time for a group of people, because I don't have to be touching you and all of that. Like you can all be doing your things, but I'm excited. I don't know why it has taken me so long to get here, but obviously I wasn't ready for them at that point, or I would have already done them. But I've had this course for freaking years, and I've tried to start it many times, and I got through the beginning parts of it before, and then I got to the actual rites and like stopped. I never did the first rite until last night, and that's the first video it was on. It was like all this teachings, all this like welcoming, all this bullshit, babidi boops, and then down here is like, okay, now let's actually give you the rite. I did the meditation to prepare you for it before, but I never actually did the rite. So for this rite, we're making a heart despacho for the heart chakra. I collected my flowers, and I got my 2 pieces of paper, and I made one as a heart. And I think anybody at any time can do a despacho ceremony. Usually doesn't involve hearts for me. Usually it's like a square piece of paper, but you can do it anyway. But yeah, I'm moving on to the next rite. There's been amazing, crazy confirmation, and just so many other crazy things that are confirming to me that Lyran Triple Infinity and the Kotakuna Carpe are totally, definitely 100% correct. Did the heart chakra. We did wrap it up. Tomorrow I'm either gonna bury it or burn it. I wrapped it with this for now because I didn't want to go downstairs, it's so late, and get a ribbon and stuff. Then we moved on to the throat chakra, and we needed to either make like a paper feather fan or use feathers, which I have a bunch of because I had to pull out the stuff the other day when I was teaching the supplies that I have for making my dream catchers. There was a thing in there that I used for the pie stones that I gift to people so that they have something to put their pie stones on. I had a bunch of feathers, so I could actually make the feathers, because with the throat, it's all about communication, it's an element of air, boop, right? And then for this one that we're moving on to right now is the third eye. It's something that represents seeing and vision, right? Now, it's so weird to me because they built my mesa before I even knew what it was, My mesa. Not everything that's in there right now is part of it, but there's stuff in there that is part of it. And like this, right? I put this in here to represent the high priestess, the owl, like sacred vision, intuition and all of that. She's like, you could use a pie stone, or you could use like a figurine of this, that, the other thing, like an eagle condor, because this is the one that connects with eagle condor. But this was already in there because it's all meant to be. I can't believe, like, this is one of the reasons why it was like I was putting myself off from doing it, because I was like, well, I don't have 7 stones. I don't know what 7 stones I want to use. And I don't know if I have, because like at the beginning of it, it tells you the type of stuff that you're going to need, like this, that, and the other thing. I completely, totally forgot about all that because I watched all that a long time ago. And then yesterday, I randomly got an email from this woman. she's like, oh, I have a special going on other stuff, nothing to do with this. And I was like, oh yeah, I still like, and I had said it on the day of the munay that I had these. And so at the end of that class and at the end of that day, I get a fucking email from this lady, and I never get any of my emails. I don't look at them, but it was in the drop down on my phone. So I was like, let me click on that. And I went in there, and it was like the video just like started playing, and I was right at the part to start the first rite. I had already done every other video. I'd already listened to it all, and I was like, oh, I gotta wait until I have all the things all ready, blah. But then, like, last night, it just started, and I was like, okay, I just go with it, here we go. And I used my chumpy stones for most of it, and then I literally, because I set my mesa up the way that it is right now, the other day, just for, like, I don't know why, I just did, and this was in there, and this is what we needed for my lineage stone, okay? And it's just crazy. It's just crazy, because it's all the thingies, like, all this stuff is already here, it's already doings. I've only got one more right after this rite, and it's like it's already in there. I'm already there. On the last rite, we need one red, one yellow, and one white candle. And it's like these are all I got left of the big box of candles I had, and it's also this is the one for Alcyon. Tomasa Wamantakila, the twin sister, Juana, is the goddess of freedom and connects to a sacred mountain near Cusco, and this is for transformation and liberation. It connects us to our higher self and is going to integrate all of the rites. So the last part, she's talking about the mesa. She's like, don't make a big deal about it, boppity boop. Traditionally, an open mesa is put into circles, and I definitely did some circles, and I definitely said the other day at the munay class that, like, I felt like I already built my mesa. Like, when I went to do it with another person, I already had stuff in there. It built itself. This was gifted to me. The one before was gifted to me. Everything in it is gifted to me. Not right now at the moment, but the other day when I came in here from doing the rites and everything, I opened it up and I was just like guided to do this. And then later in the day, I was guided to find that thing and then start doing that. I had no intention when I set this up that I was going to be doing the nusta rites. I did not know. I had no idea. And I had no idea that at the end of it, it would be like, yeah, so usually, traditionally, it's put into a circle and bobbity-boobity-bop. And it's just, and all the shit that I said the other day about this whole process of, like, it doesn't need to be a big deal. You don't need someone to tell you how to make it, because spirit will tell you how to make it. Yeah, you probably want to have some understandings and good ideas of things and, like, learn about stuff, but I think that naturally happens. So obviously it naturally happens. Like, it just naturally happened to me. And again, like these things, we use these in all of this. These were gifted to me. These were gifted to me. That was gifted to me. All the little stones are here. The dog brought me this. Like, I didn't go out and seek these items. I didn't go out and seek this item. I didn't go out and seek this. I didn't seek this. Like, and everything that I've needed for all of these rites was already here. I was definitely meant to do it when I did it. And I'm so glad I did. And I was definitely meant to go through everything I've gone through the way that I've gone through it, from the beginning with the munay to this. And everything in between, how it all interconnected, how it was like, here you go, here's some confirmation, you're not crazy, you're definitely psychic, you're definitely receiving fucking guidance, like, specific, even down to just me coming in and being like, you know what, because these crystals and stuff, like, this stuff in the middle is usually in here. Like, all of this stuff around the edge, these things, they're not usually in here. It's just stuff that was over there, and I was like, let me just put it all in here and make it nice. I feel like I did that for a reason, to charge it all up, to get the energy going, to, unknowingly, but that's how my whole fucking thing has been, unknowingly doing things with divine knowing. Just like, oh, here you go, oops, wow, oops, here's the gin, oops, here's this, oops, here's that. Now that I have them, and I'm all good, and I know what I need to do and how to do it, and that I have every tool that is possibly needed to do the whole thing, I can give them to others. I can also give them distantly. She even said, she's like, you can even take the stuff that's in her course and use it to give to others. I'm probably not going to do that, because even just looking at the stuff in there, like while I was looking at it, I knew what I would improve upon, what I would do with that information, how I would, relay that to others, how I would make it look for others. So I will be doing that so that long distance people can receive these. And I'm going to be setting up so that so people can come do it in person too. And the way that this whole thing is, there's so many cool things that happen throughout it. It would either have to be like a very long day, or like do a couple at a time and then do a couple more at a time. And that may be better, because then we can like process them and feel them out and all of that. But again, I'm just so fucking blown away by this type of stuff that happens to me. I have all my notes. I know exactly what to do, what to say, where to go, like how to set it all up and all of that. And it's just like when the munay key happened. I don't need to wait and like fucking sit around and think about it and be like, I'm nervous about it. Like, will I be the nervous on the day? Probably. But no, I don't even feel that way at all. Like you want to get the red? Come on over tomorrow. I'll give you the reds. Like, it's just innately inside of me. It's the only thing people would have to do is get their stones beforehand and get some tools beforehand if they're in the distance sessions. But if they're like coming to me, I would have everything except for picking out 7 stones. Either you could get choppy stones, right? Those are a little expensive though. Or you could get a stone for every color. Chakras. Get a green stone. And I already had, I had the red stone, I got an orange stone, I got this lineage stone, got my little third eye energy. I got a lot of stuff in here, but you can find these types of things. You can find a yellow stone, you can find a red stone, you can find an orange stone, you can find a green stone, or you can buy a chakra set of stones. That would be easy peasy. I don't know, man. Feathers, candles, and literally all we did was light these and blow them out. It was like, so that was easy enough, because I had the white one like that, which doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter. Intention is all that matters in this stuff. We don't need to get all crazy about things, because when we get all crazy about things like this don't happen. If I was all anal about this and fucking logical about this, I wouldn't have had all these oh my god moments of I'm already doing that. Or if I was waiting for her to tell me to do something before I did it, I wouldn't have had oh my god, I'm already doing it. It's just from the very start, the very first rite to the very last rite, every single thing was like, oh my god. So yeah, very happy, very excited, very, very awesome starseed. And yeah, if somebody wants to learn them, let me know, because I'll teach them. I can teach them distance and in person. I'm probably just gonna put out an event for my home, but for online, I don't know exactly where I'd put them. I could kind of do it like I did with the munay key before. Yeah, I could do it like I did before. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll do that maybe partially. We'll see. Namaste.